Let's make the lead to Defunct by Daft Punk. Sounds like this. Two oscillators set at a sawtooth and bring the octave down on the first one. Dadzer envelope, 2-input mixer, resonant LP filter, another Dadzer envelope, oscilloscope, and a vintage ladder filter. Control voltage goes into the notes of the oscillators. This first Dadzer goes into the modulation ports of the oscillators. This is going to control the volume at which it shapes. Both the oscillators get ran into the 2-input mixer. From the mixer it goes to the resonant LP filter into the vintage ladder filter, vintage ladder to the left mono out. Plug in the scope. The second Dadzer gets ran into the cut and of the res of the LP filter. The attack goes to about halfway to the first notch, and the release goes just a little bit below this line right here. This is actually quite important to get the release right. Match the same release as on the first Dadzer with this one, just slightly below this line, and then take the sustain just slightly above noon and match the decay to that same one. And then now with the attack, you just barely bring it up. This is going to give it that wow sound. Take the cutoff to a little bit past noon, and the res just bring it straight up. Now bring this up to a 24 decibel slope. The cutoff can be brought to about right here. This is pretty much just to kind of dull the sound. Add a distortion and just leave it on the stock overdrive settings. And now we can add a compressor and sidechain it to our kick. Depends on how loud you have your drums. You want to adjust the ratio and the threshold so it doesn't clamp down too much. Bring down the highs a little bit to dull the sound, and it's probably going to be pretty loud, so I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Right now, it sounds like this. Seems to be quite harsh, so I'm actually going to mess with the cutoff a little bit and watch what it does to the sound. Let's turn these back to where they were, and I'm going to add a second distortion. Let's get rid of the side chain and add another distortion. Take the first distortion and bring it down quite a bit. Now we could bring this one down a little bit as well. Let's hear how this sounds. Still a little bit too much distortion, so I'm going to turn this down a little bit, but I actually think I like the sound better. Open up a second modular and open up a machine input. Select the source to the modular, flip it around, plug it in, turn this one down all the way. Now we can go to the effects rack of this one. Let's actually turn it down first. And then now we can add our sidechain compression to our kick. Add an oscilloscope so we can see what's going on. Just go straight from the mono into here. Turn this down just slightly. Now it sounds like this. This project will be available for a free download in the description.